Today I wanted to talk about audio setups for newer YouTubers and video content creators. I have identified the 4 most common setups that can be applied to most people's YouTube channel. We're going to go over every single one of those. There's shotgun mics, on-camera mics, XLRs, handheld mics, lavalier kits, external stands, boom poles. There's just so much that can overwhelm a new YouTuber so fast. I don't want that to happen to you. We're going to keep it concise, we're going to keep it brief, and you're going to leave here better than when you came in. Let's get into it. This is just the camera microphone that you're hearing. You're probably hearing some wind. It's probably just not very good. However, the moment we put an on-camera shotgun mic onto our camera here and plug it in, and it should sound much better. That's because the on-camera shotgun mic is a shotgun mic. It has a very narrow pickup field. It doesn't have a far spread as far as what it's going to pick up. It's just going to pick up what's directly in front of it, like this one right here. As you basically mount most shotgun mics, on-camera ones, to the top of the camera. There's usually a mic slot on the side of the camera, and then you plug it in. The practical use case for the on-camera mic like this is vlogging. You're kind of keeping things loose, walking around filming things. Regardless of whether or not this is your primary mic, it's always a good habit to have a mic on your camera for your B-roll. That way you have what we call nat sounds, natural sounds that you can use later in the edit. Sorry, this might take a minute. Hopefully it doesn't look bad.
This was a much better idea in my head. By the way, it's also ridiculously windy out there today. So we talk about windscreens, so it works out. Just before a lot of the other video production guys get on my case in the comments, we do apply windscreens later. Okay.
Another big benefit of the on-camera mic is that it's mobile. It's also a complete singular package. Hardware-wise, it's the camera mic, just one thing to hold on to. But the real benefit comes later in the process whenever you're editing. Because this mic is going directly into the camera, I don't have to sync up the audio in post, which if you have any experience with that, you know is a huge time saver. There's at least one drawback with this. That problem is that when I'm nice and close, this is a wonderful setup. Like within about 3 feet, perfect, great, chef's kiss. However, whenever I walk away, now all of a sudden, we have a problem where you cannot hear me as good. You need captions. But luckily, we have a more elegant solution. The solution is what we call a lavalier. The lavalier has 2 primary components. The first is going to be called the receiver. This is what's going to transmit our audio signal to the camera. We take the receiver and we pop it on to the mount of our camera. 3.5, 2, and on the mic input. The other component we have is the actual transmitter itself. In this case, this is also the transmitter and the microphone. On more professional sets, they're completely separate, but this is one the same. This is both the transmitter and the mic. So this sends a signal to this. That signal goes into the camera and records it fully in sync, ready to go. So I can take this, I can clip it. Little pro tip, there's things called windscreens you can put onto microphones of all different shapes and sizes. The real benefit of a microphone like this is that I could come back here, even if I turn away from the camera, you can still hear me. That a proper layup should take 3 or 4 steps to get to the basket. You come up, left foot down, right hand up, and it should just go right in. There's a lot of freedom for the subject to move around separate from the camera when using a lavalier mic. And for most people, they completely bypass the on-camera mic and they go with just this. If anything scruffles it, moves it, or whatever, that ruins the audio. So you gotta be aware of jewelry, clothes, anything that could scruff up this mic, you wanna be aware of that. You want it placed about a hand size away, the subject's hand, not your hand, my hand's huge. The subject's hand span away from their mouth. So basically, if you have your subject go from the chin and all the way down to the bottom of the hand, is kind of the area where it's best to mount it. Man, it is windy today. Okay, so we have gone over the on-camera mic setup. We've gone over the lavalier setup, and I want to show you a slightly more advanced one. This one is called the boom mic setup. Okay, so there are 5 components to a boom mic setup. You of course have your microphone. This is a shotgun mic, XLR. You have the boom pole. You have the stand, which is gonna hold your boom pole. You have your XLR cable, which runs from the shotgun mic through the boom pole, all the way to our final component, the external audio recorder. Now, this means that your audio is gonna be recorded separately from your video, so you're gonna have to sync it up later in post. It's not a big deal. I will show you how to do that in an effective way later in the video. Now, I can hear some of you already saying, Josh, this looks like complete overkill for my YouTube situation. And it very well may be. That's great that you recognize that. I'd rather you not waste money on gear you don't need. I would say this is probably for someone with like a more defined YouTube studio space. And the reason for that is because of this boom pole. This is what makes it a boom mic setup. You can get a really far extension with this. You can raise it up, get it just out of frame of your camera, and then because this has a very narrow pickup pattern, you're going to get this really high quality, rich audio that's going to be recorded, and you're not going to have a lav that's sticking out on you. So if you need like a nice, clean visual look, but you need really professional sound, this boom mic setup is a way to go. Let me show you what I mean. The boom mic is just out of frame up here. You can't see it, but you're still hearing this really nice, high quality, rich audio. The reason why we're able to have this setup again is because of this stand and that boom arm being able to extend over. Now, the drawback to this is going to be that this is a shotgun mic. So it has a very narrow pickup, right? So just kind of like my face, more or less. So if I take a few steps this way, it's not going to sound as good. It's going to start fading away. If I step in front of the mic too much, I might be able to look at the camera, but you're not going to hear me as well. So you got to keep that in mind whenever it comes to this kind of setup. It's very stationary. You can't move it. Now, there is a way to counter the stationary to keep it mobile, but that requires you hiring a boom mic operator, et cetera, et cetera. That's expensive. You don't want to do that. If you have a stationary setup in your YouTube studio, this is a phenomenal route to go. It has this nice, clean look. For instance, like the moment I take this lavalier away, you can still hear me. It looks completely natural, but the audio sounds freaking fantastic. This makes a lot of sense. Hi, sweetheart. If your cat meows, it'll probably pick it up. Okay, so we're at the fourth and final YouTube audio setup, and we are going to be talking about a desk mic setup. You'll see this used on podcasts, gaming channels, whole plethora of others. This is just when you have a mic at your desk and you want that kind of silky smooth radio DJ kind of sound. It's like you want that premium audio quality. So this is called a USB condenser microphone, and all that means is that it's a microphone that just has a USB out and you can plug it directly into your computer. So all you need to make this system work is, of course, the USB microphone I just mentioned. I would advise you to get some type of articulating arm so that way you can position it around your desk and with your camera. And then, of course, you're going to need an open USB port because, again, it's a USB mic. So we're going to take it, plug it in, and let's hop to the screen here. I'm using a software called RODE Connect. It came with this RODE USB mic, and it's a pretty good bit of software. It's designed for podcasters. I don't have a problem with it, but let me hit record.
And now that we've switched over to this microphone, you are likely hearing a much richer, much deeper, much fuller sound, more so than the lavalier that I was just wearing. A lot of people gravitate toward these because of the simplicity of just being able to plug it in and get really high quality audio. The difference between a condenser microphone and what you would see, say, Joe Rogan or another podcaster use is called a dynamic microphone. So a condenser microphone is
constantly picking up audio and ambience, and a dynamic microphone is a
Hey. Focus up. I'm sorry. I know I was getting into the weeds there. All right. You just have to know that if you're starting out, all you need is just a basic USB microphone. You'd be just fine. You can definitely find a USB mic from about $50 to $100 and you'll be A-okay. There's a whole host of software programs that you can use to record your audio. You can use Audacity, Audition, OBS, Final Cut. I wouldn't worry so much about the actual program to record your audio. But say that you were doing this setup, right? This is going to record the audio separate from your video. So that means you're going to have to sync it up in post. So let's dive in here real quick about how to synchronize audio that has been recorded separate from video. So we have our boom mic sample right here. We have our desk sample video, boom mic and desk sample video. We have our boom mic sample audio and desk sample audio. So I'm going to show you in just a few clicks how you can get these synced up in Adobe Premiere Pro. So let's do the boom mic sample first. So let's take this, a new sequence, and we're going to take this audio. So what we have here is in the blue, we have the on-camera audio. Okay, so if we listen to this for a second. Okay, so here's my example of a basic boom mic pole setup, kind of like for a talking headshot that you might see someone do. Obviously, it doesn't sound very good compared to,
I would say it probably sounds a little better or equal
the shotgun setup. Much better sounding. So we want to use that in place of this, but you could sit here, and one way you could do this is you could kind of come here to the waveforms, open them up, and you could try your best and get them synced up. I think if we came right here, I think this would make them synced up. I think you can line up these waveforms like so, and that took 15 seconds to do. Now, this is just a clip. Imagine if you had a whole plethora of these. That'd be a bit of a problem. Let's assume it's way over here and we've got, 3 other clips, and we want to sync up this clip with this audio clip, and we just want it to be done. So what we do is we highlight everything or lasso it, right click, come to synchronize, and you're going to synchronize not by the start or by the end of the clip, but by the audio. And what this is going to do is this is going to have Adobe Premiere Pro analyze the audio and sync it up. So we're going to hit OK. There you go. Now it is completely sunk up. We'll bring it back to the front here, and we're just just going to solo just our shotgun track, and it should sound pretty great. So here's my example of a basic boom mic pole setup, kind of like for a talking headshot that you might see someone doing a video essay for, or they're just talking to the camera. Let's do it for the desk sample setup now. So we take our desk sample, we drag it into a new sequence. Here we go. And let's listen to just the audio.
This is a sample, and this is the Elgato prompter. It frustrates me to no end. I think the software for it is absolute garbage and they need to update it.
It's true, they do need to update it. Let's take the desk sample audio. Now this is just a clip that I recorded for just this whole sequence, right? Like this whole sequence is like 10 minutes long. This one little clip is like, it's like 15 seconds right there. So watch this. This whole 10-minute clip, it's gonna take this 15 seconds and put it exactly where it needs to go. So we'll lasso it, we'll right click it, we'll hit synchronize, we'll hit okay. I did fast forward it, but it only took about maybe 15 more seconds. So now it should be synced up. So when we come here and we watch the whole thing, this is a sample, and this is the Elgato prompter. It frustrates me to no end. I think the software for it is absolute garbage and they need to update it. So there you go. That's how you sync up audio. If we look here real quick, there is an audio panel in Premiere, and you can do a lot of basic enhancements to your audio, like repairing, reducing some of the noise, adding some clarity, doing some basic EQ to it. Just about every editor has some variation of a panel like this for sweet tuning your audio is what I would say. So we're not going to go into that today. That's a whole series of videos on its own. Once your audio is good, and I define good as your viewership is no longer commenting on your audio, you can stop trying to improve your audio. You have refined your process, you have gotten the right equipment, and it's working for you. At that point, I would say focus on your content, because you upgrading your mic or continuing to focusing in on your audio, it's going to be diminishing returns, right? Like you're not going to suddenly increase your viewership because your mic got better, or you got $1,000 mic versus like $100 mic. It's not going to matter. So keep that concept of diminishing returns in mind. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Audio, just like on camera mic. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Hi there. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Yeah, you want to say hi to Keith? You want to say hi? Oh, who doesn't like a good cat? Okay. You want to go back over here and be my audience? Thank you.